2. What's good, everybody? Welcome into Inside the Green Room with Danny Green.
Chip.
Harrison Sanford. No Spanish today. We have a lot to talk about in the world of entertainment and sports. We're going to talk about the New York Knicks series as they go up 2-0 against the Indiana Pacers. The Timberwolves on the verge of a sweep. We also have some head coach firings and some head coach hirings. And we also have to talk about what's going on between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. A lot to discuss. And Danny, I also have a recent dating world gripe to give you. But before we get into that, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I was looking forward to Spanish every week. I usually am. A little disappointed that no Spanish this week, but everything is going good. So they're cleaning out the closet, doing some spring cleaning, getting some stuff shipped here and there. A company called The Real. If you haven't heard of it, it's helped your boy out. They will come in, take all your clothes, and sell them for you. Especially decent brands. They take a lot of brands. So you're not just giving them away for free. You actually get like a percentage or a check from them, which is cool. Outside of that, so I've been listening to the hip hop stuff, watching the playoffs. I'm interested to see what or hear about this dating situation you have going on.
But, hey, listen, man.
There's a lot to talk about. A lot going on in the NBA, a lot going on in the world. Let's recap, man.
A lot going on. I will say this. I recently have now put all of my clothes that I no longer fit because I've lost the weight. I've put them in a bag. I'm giving them off to the Salvation Army. It is therapeutic, my friend, to kind of get rid of all that clothes. I will say this. The reason why we're not doing Spanish, because I haven't done Spanish over the past week. Last week was the past week has been me just relaxing. You can't keep up what I've learned, and I'm happy I did it this way, DG. You can't keep up the regimen that I was on, the discipline I was showing myself. You can't keep it up. You got to allow yourself to take a break. So that's what I was on.
Moderation, man. A little break, a little moderation. You have a cheat day here and there. Make sure you get one out of the week. It'll help you, keep things fresh. Get little tattoos here and there. Tell the people what's going on. You got to turn over new leaf, get some new ink in your life.
Got the new ink on my thigh. My parents haven't seen it yet. Let's see how that goes when my mom sees it.
Triple H.
For the shout out to Hamilton and Hastings. What else has happened, man? Okay, yeah. Oh, I also now I'm about to. So I was doing the 6 days a week of the gym, 7 days yoga. I'm now going to 6 days of the week going to the gym, but now I'm going to do Pilates 2 times a week. I did my first Pilates class earlier this week, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm sorry to our female listeners, but every woman told me that Pilates was the hardest thing I was ever going to do. I did the reformer Pilates, bro. Light work, dog. Now, granted, I put myself in shape so that it's easier to do. Like if I hadn't gotten in shape for the past 2 months, maybe it would have whipped my ass. You know what I'm saying? But because
you have to do it a certain way too. You did it on the reformer
classes.
You did the reformer class. Did you up you can up the levels, different weights, different, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But you also pace yourself. So did you stop at any time in the breaks? Because it's 30 seconds, minute on. Like you're not taking no breaks, just kept going.
I kept going. We'll see, because the lady who was my instructor, she knew it was my first time. So maybe she took it easy on me. I'm back in the lab on Saturday. So we'll see.
Bro.
I'll tell her to ramp it up on me, and we'll see.
I got a newfound respect for the one time I did it was last year, the year before, during All-Star break. I was sore for 4 days, bro. I had to go in there. I was like, I ain't gonna be no bitch when I go in here. So I ain't gonna take no breaks. I'm gonna say highest level, but I did a higher level, and every exercise we did, I did it I did it the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like even when it was burning, and it's working the small muscles, man. And said I was sore all the way through the rest of the break and into the next couple of days of being back with the team. I think it was in Cleveland.
Really?
I was sore as hell. Bro, it ain't no joke. And then there's hot Pilates or hot sculpt, and then there's hot yoga. Like they have different classes, versions of it. But I did the regular one, and bro, I did it the right way, obviously, and that soreness was throughout the whole body, bro. So
okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna ask her to turn up the level on me and see what happens. We will talk about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. We will talk about basketball for a moment, but there might be I got to tell a story that might resonate with some people who listen to our podcast. So Danny, I'm out in the dating world now, right? And obviously, it's very
for those who are there. It's probably better you're not. I feel bad for those who are in the dating world. It is a tough place to be.
It's nasty out here, boy.
So go ahead, continue.
Boy, oh my God. Anyways, so it's very common now for people to have a dating app on their phone, whether it be Hinge or Raya, whatever it might be. So, anyways, I pride myself in being very honest on my dating profile, right? I am 5'11". I don't lie and say I'm 6 feet, even though most women want a guy 6 feet and up. I could easily take that extra inch and be like, I'm 6 foot. You know what I'm saying? But I'm keeping it a bean. I'm 5'11". 5'11". Now, with that being said, dog, I've gone on 2 dates recently, and I treat the woman out to a comedy show, or we grab a couple drinks and something to eat.
You like to do events. You don't like to go on nothing boring. You like to do first dates on events.
My ideal date is happy hour. My thought is, if I can't be happy with you during happy hour, how the hell am I gonna be happy spending $300 on dinner? That's how I feel. Right. If you can survive the happy hour date, we move on to number 2. Okay. Here's my problem, DG. There's a lot of women out here who decide to put monogamy on their profile. I went on a date with this woman. I got to the end of the date. We're having a good time. She tells me that she's actually non-monogamous. Hold the phone. I done took you on a whole ass date, done took you to this place, paid for the drink and the food, and then it took you to a separate place to have a little chop down one-on-one. And now you tell me you're not monogamous. Again, what if I just put 6'4" on my profile, dog? You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'4".
Yeah,
what's going on out
here? For sure. That one, at least she wasn't ugly, or she wasn't the person she, because there's way worse.
I don't care.
People show up and catfish. I feel like catfish is worse. I feel like catfish is worse.
That happens too. No,
being somebody they're not, or putting up a picture up that's from like 5 years ago and they don't look like that anymore. But the question is, what kind of a non-monogamous person is she? She's probably whatever, and is she okay with? She likes females. Is she like men, or she just said she prefers this and she's okay to it, or she doesn't want to do anything but non-monogamous relationships?
Doesn't matter. Like I support anybody, whatever relationship type they want. I fully support it. Do your thing. But what she was referring to is that when you and obviously there's a lot of people believe in the theory that when you're dating, you should date multiple people, right? So for various reasons. But once you get to the exclusive portion of it, then you're believed to be monogamous. Now, but she believes that even when how she wants to operate is that even when she is in an exclusive relationship, there should still be openness to going out and dating other people. Hey, if that's how you want to get down, that's totally fine by me. There's absolutely zero judgment coming from my side. However, don't put it on your profile that you believe in monogamy when you don't actually believe in monogamy, because I just took your ass on it. That's my time and my money.
For sure. But H, there's an exception to every rule. She may still believe in monogamy. She may prefer a non-monogamous relationship. Somebody could make her monogamous. Oh, she said she's not doing anything but a non-monogamous.
She said I could convince her. She said, if that's something that you want, I will do. But nah, bro, that's
see, it's really, the preference. She prefers, doesn't mean she doesn't believe in it.
If that's truly, but as a man who wants monogamy, I don't want somebody who's going to waver.
You should have to convince.
You got to stand 10 toes down on that.
You should have to convince, but she's not. Technically, she's not lying. She believes in it. She just prefers something different.
Man, listen, man. That's got you got to put a caveat on your profile with that nonsense.
I just think that's the least of your problems when it comes to people faking in their or putting people change their picture, their height, their identity. Like, bro, like her just saying the monogamy may work in your favor, kid. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know, but hey,
it's not, well, it's my time.
She sounds like a gem. That's what she sounds like to me. She sounds like a gem. Sounds like a hidden gem to me, and you're over here complaining.
No, bro. No, listen. The date would have been different if she was honest about who she was.
For sure, 100%. I'm with that. But I do know people. There are people that, and she could have led with that, but she did tell you on the first date. There are people that wait till you actually like them before they tell you, oh, you know what? I used to talk to one of your friends back in the day.
Bro.
Whoa.
I wouldn't have matched with her. I wouldn't have texted her. I wouldn't have taken her out on the date that I did if she had monogamy on her profile. Yeah, she told me at the end of the first date. You know what already happened by then? I spent time and I spent my money. Miss
Could have
me with
changed your
that.
mind. She might have she thinks maybe
Push it.
somebody I can form. I may prefer this. Maybe this person might conform and try it out with me. Maybe we can figure it out. We can grow together.
Then put that on your profile. Monogamy, open to other
Listen,
relationship types.
then send her an invoice. This is what you owe me. If you have an issue, all right, look, man, you lied to me. You owe me $100. You know what I'm saying? At least for my time and money. But at least you got to know somebody. You got a story from it, and this might be a friend that you might be able to keep around at some point in life. You know, when she's getting in a monogamous relationship, she might keep you around as a friend. You could be her side piece for all we know.
No, boy. All right, moving on. Moving on. All right, let's talk about what's going on in the entertainment world. Kendrick Lamar and Drake have gotten into a beef. It has gotten a little bit uneasy for me at moments and times, most recently, especially with reports that Drake's security guard has got shot earlier this week. I don't like I don't like that one bit, Danny.
Violence is never there. There was never cool when it comes to that. You know, keep it just that rap and keep it at the craft. You don't want it to come to violence. So nobody's ever cool with it. But from my understanding, it's not from his side or his camp. It's from within a Toronto or Canadian camp that is beefing with him. Yeah,
but with that being said, I'll let you take it wherever you want to take it. What do you think about this? How have you digested the battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake?
My light skin group is down bad right now, man. Drake's my guy. Of course, we have some history. I played for his team. We won a championship. Good people to know the guy well. Love his music. Fan of his music. I love the 2 hits that he did drop that were solid. We know how much of a lyrical beast Kendrick is, so we knew this was going to be like a test for him. And this was a lot of flowers, a lot of kudos to him for jumping in the battle. He gains nothing from it. It was a lose-lose really for him. And he's the only person that had something to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like Kendrick had everything to gain, not much to lose. So he went into this saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to exercise my pen. See, I'm going to go into the crowd because I really don't need to battle anybody. I don't know how to respond to anybody. That's the platform he's on. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't need anybody or need to battle or prove anything to anybody. But he said, oh, and for him to even do it, give him a lot of credit, man. Something he did not need to do. And he came out strong. I enjoyed a lot of people didn't like the AI stuff. It took me by surprise. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Snoop and Pac. I think he might have gotten some trouble for it, but I thought it was dope. Some people thought it was corny. I like that approach. It was a different approach. He had another approach, like he tried to, I wouldn't say the Eminem approach, but try to see what comments Kendrick might use. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it and how you put it together. And then the craft that you're doing it. Both sides had told things that were not true. Both sides have said things that had been said before. There are rhymes, there are lines. There's not many out there that's going to be brand new that nobody's thought of or haven't made up today. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say Kendrick probably got this one. He got this one in the bag. And it was tough to watch. Drake's last one said that I think he got too much into the social media, reading what people were saying, the comments, and trying to defend himself. I would have liked to him see, like, Kendrick's Euphoria to me was the best one. The other ones, Meet the Grams, was solid. And, kind of told a story. Some of them fabricated.
Not Like Us.
Yeah, that one is the banger. That's a street banger. But to me, the top disc, the Euphoria is the better disc and the better record. Not Like Us, it's just hitting the streets different because it's an upbeat pace. Yeah. The angle that I thought Drake should have taken was that upbeat. Like,
yes, he should have came with something like back to back.
Yo, I need a club banger from you. Like, this is what he's coming in your lane and trying to, make a hit for the summer. Now everybody's in the summer is listening to this for the summer. This is a summer hit now. You came back and tried to do Kendrick's approach and go in the booth and just get locked in onto a beat and just tell your story. Nah, what made Family Matters so good and Push Up so good. It had a hook. It had catchy beat. You had some, like the beginning of Family Matters and end of Family Matters, catchy books. You had your Drake singing on it. We need that. We need a banger. Like, all you had to say or come with the approach is like, whatever you had to say, however you want to say is, I can't lose. There's no losing for me. Even if I lose this battle, I'm still going to be top. You're never going to deteriorate my stardom, my platform. You're not going to. So you came with that beat, that up pace, that angle, and that attitude of, I don't have to defend myself. I am who I am. I can't lose. And all of y'all, my sons, because I put all of y'all on, all y'all eating because of me, and y'all name as big as they are is because of me. It might have been a draw. because there was no really, because Kendrick is so lyrically well. Like I don't think I think at
He never
best
would have
Drake could have
lost too
did.
big.
He would have never lost. It would have been a draw. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been. But now because that last one he put out, I feel like Drake, it kind of put him in the waving the white flag. Like all right, I'm not doing no more drops. And Kendrick heard it. He saw the responses. It weren't good responses. So he's like, I don't need to drop anything anymore. But yeah, man, my light skinned boys is down bad right now. But that's my dog. Still hell of a music and a lot of stories that we don't believe none of it. The pedophilia, the wife beating, and all that. We know he's a solid dude. We know Kendrick's a solid dude. He's all solid guys. These allegations are not true, and we hope they're not true. So yeah, we don't like to see people lose sponsors or have issues or violence happening and shootings and stuff like that. It's silly. We do like business booming in Toronto. Was it New Ho King or whatever it is? Ho King, whatever. Yeah. They got a Kendrick special over there. So when I visit this summer, I'm gonna try to go get me some eats over there. But you know, it's dope. It's dope to see Kendrick #1 business. Both of them selling records. And I'm not a big Kendrick fan. I'm a Baby Keem fan, but I like these records. Him having these hits for the summer and him, you know, getting on those billboards is dope to see, and it's good for hip hop because no disrespect to the females, love them, but it's just come a lot for me to keep hearing just the Ice Spice, the Doja Cats, the Lottos, Mega Sounds all year long. It's like, yo, where are my guys at? Like, I need some of the homies in here throwing some hits in. So it's good to have that in the mix along with the female rappers who are taking over the damn game.
Yeah, I would say Cardi this. You know, growing up in the Jay-Z versus Nas beef, I appreciated that these guys got to the pen. I don't appreciate how they were flooding the market with their songs. I think there's a beauty in scarcity, and they were. Yeah. It became a lot to even digest, particularly when you're dropping games, but dropping songs in the middle of playoff games.
I went to dinner, turned around next to 2 songs. I'm like, I didn't even finish deciphering 616. Like, I was just like, what's going on? And there's so many entendres, there's so many double meanings. I'm like, yo, I gotta look at Twitter. Somebody need to break this down. It was a lot, but I'm never gonna complain with the abundance, bro, because we don't get enough of Drake, enough of Kendrick. We don't get enough of Battle or Beat. Like, we'll have time to digest eventually. Just keep go ahead, I don't care, keep dropping. Like, we need it. The streets need it. I would like to have more time, but eventually we're gonna get to them, and there's still bangers. There's still stuff I can listen to in the car consistently.
Yeah, for sure. So there's that angle, and then also too, I these guys are too lyrically talented, and the reason why they started to battle each other, maybe even if they didn't like each other, the reason why they decided to engage in a battle is because they both respected each other to some modicum of a degree as artists. So for me, I think throwing out some of the things that they threw out there, particularly the pedophilia, that's just not that's just no. We just don't. I just don't want to see that unless it's coming with proof. That's just not something that I think is fair game, because again, they're engaging in a battle because they respect each other to a certain degree. And when you're taking an icon and you're putting that label on him, that is, you've seen what happens in this world when you have certain accusations. And I just don't think it's fair game. It's nasty work, in my opinion. And I'm not cool with it. I don't think I don't want, and to your point, Danny, this the Not Like Us is such a banger. Right. And so it's a song that a lot of people are listening to of all ages. Now we're having people of all ages like kind of rapping to a track, dancing to a track, calling one of the major icons in music a pedophile. Like, it's just,
I think he was also calling his crew, which some of them do have some, I don't know what's on the record, and it's not cool, but at the same time, it's like, how do we have beef without we have gloves on them? Like, guys are gonna go low. You gotta let them beef it out and stay lyrically. I don't care how you do it, but it's hard to put boundaries on beef, on lyrical beef when you're talking about somebody. You know what I'm saying? You can't have both ways. And I know today's world is a lot different, a lot sensitive, but it's like, yo, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is hip hop. This is how it is. You know, they talk to each other crazy. They talk about their families crazy. Talk about their wives crazy, and they're gonna say some ratchet stuff. The rap says some wild stuff. So you know, I prefer it that way than to have it censored, because then there's no awe feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's sometimes shock and awe. Some of it goes a little far, but it's like, you know, this is hip hop, and that's why they have the E version, and then they have the kids version. You know what I'm saying? So like,
for sure,
it's playing on the radio. Don't play that word on the radio. That's, you know what I'm saying?
I will say this. I was disappointed in J. Cole at first. Round of applause. Wise man. Stay up out of that. That is, it's the type of stuff that's being said. I wouldn't want my name even associated with that. So it was a wise move by J. Cole. I didn't see the vision, but I see it now. We're going to talk about two quick NBA topics before we get into some other NBA series. First and foremost, Darvin Ham let go. Frank Vogel let go. On Thursday, the Charlotte Hornets hired Charles Lee to become their head coach. He is the assistant now for the Boston Celtics, but previous to that, he was with the Milwaukee Bucks. None of those things are surprising at all. But Danny, we talked about this previous to the show. I know you're somebody who was hesitant to become a head coach, but as you see it now, well, actually, let me ask you this question. And producer James brought this up. When you are a head coach of a team with star players, and then he made a great point, unless you got Pat Riley at the president, at your GM, like it's a wrap. Like if those star players don't get down with you, it's up and over with. We saw Anthony Davis basically call out Darvin Ham. We saw it seems as if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, especially the way Bradley Beal was treating him, did not get along with Frank Vogel. It is and you've played with stars pretty much your whole career. Especially when you left San Antonio, it's like, bro, when the stars don't get down with you, it's over. But it's also unfair too, because I think both teams, the Lakers and the Suns, regardless of how much they might have liked their head coach or disliked their head coach, the rosters just weren't good enough. Point blank, period. So it's
part of that has to do with the choosing of the front office and head coach. He has a say so in that as well. But
your reaction to everything that's happened in the head coaching world.
I mean, it does suck. Is one of the reasons why I say I should never say never. And I told Doc I'll never do it. He goes, I know for sure you're going to do it because you said that. I'll never say never, but it's not something I would prefer to do or suggest to do if you don't have a passion for it. Because managing egos, especially with people that make more money than you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to do. And they have a lot of control over your job. Their performance controls your job. So that's another reason why it's unstable to me. So yeah, if you don't get along with people, they don't get along with you, don't like you, you're not going to be there long. I will say the only good thing about it is that you get to hire the people you trust, the people around you want, and you get a nice little severance package. And usually it's a couple-year deal. And if you get fired after the first year, Frank's going to get paid for the next 4 years or so. But it does suck regardless. But it does suck to be treated that way or to not be respected or not to be and your job be predicated on other people's feelings, other people's egos, other people's performances. So that's the dirty side of it. It's the ugly side of it. And yeah, man, so but you know what you're stepping into when you're coming into this game and who you're managing, who you're coaching. It's a game of coaching teams and also managing egos and make sure those guys are happy and they like what you're doing. So yeah. Dirty, ugly game, but then one I would prefer to do, and I wouldn't say never, but I prefer to do something less stressful and not have to worry about other people's feelings and managing those egos on my job. But so you have to love. If you love the game, it's a lot of fun. You can win some championships. You can still be around the game. You can be around some of the top guys, and it's a dope experience, I'm sure. But it comes with a lot.
That is very much true. And real quickly, and this is no shade to the brilliance of Nikola Jokic, the NBA voters got it wrong. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have been the MVP.
At least more votes. You should got more votes.
Yeah, 19
man. The
votes
voting
is
was
crazy. Yeah, he's the they had the number one seed. It's the youngest team by usage rate in the entire NBA. What else more can you say? They had a better.
I know it's a regular season award, but look what they're doing in the playoffs. Like look what they're doing. Like this team is serious. It's not just they won regular season and I said no. They swept the New Orleans Nuggets, like they swept New Orleans Hornets, Pelicans, and now they won the first 5 straight games. Now they're beating Dallas 1-0, and they might beat them again. So we'll see soon. But it looks like they're going to come out and be in the Western Conference Finals. Denver might not be.
Yeah, well, with that being said, Denver might get swept up out of here. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Stay tuned. This is Inside the Green Room. Welcome back to Inside the Green Room. Danny Green, Harrison Sanford. You guys already know the vibes. If you're listening to us on the go using your podcast app, particularly the Audacy app, you also, I want to let you know that you could also watch us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can listen to us on the go using any podcast app that you prefer. And do us a favor while you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, positive comments, 5-star reviews,
Read, rate,
all
review,
those
subscribe.
things. Yeah, all those good things are definitely appreciated over on this side. With that being said, let's talk about things that happened recently, and let's try to predict the future. Danny, let's talk about first the New York Knicks. First and foremost, as a man who's been to every playoff game so far at Madison Square Garden, this playoff run, it has been electric. What you see on TV is absolutely true, and it's even better in person. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I will say this, though, they are stressing your boy out every game when it's like 3 minutes left. It's close. I swear I gain a gray hair every single home game, but yet I still have the confidence that some way, somehow, Jalen Brunson and company are going to find a way to win, and that's exactly what they're doing. However, it's getting more tense game by game. Mitchell Robinson is effectively out for the playoffs with the ankle injury. We lost Bojan Bogdanovic towards the tail end of the 76ers series. There's now, obviously, Julius Randle is around, and now the newest injury, OG Anunoby, has a sore hamstring. At least that's the word coming out of game number 2. It could be more severe. Won't know this by the time this podcast comes out. But man, I know, Danny, we're down to 6, maybe at most 7 playable guys. And Coach Thibodeau,
you have more than that. He just doesn't want to use them.
Yeah, Coach Thibodeau has done a tremendous job defensively, staying on brand with how he wants the team to operate. It's allowed them to really operate at a high level, despite the fact they really only have one star player. However, Coach Thibs is going to come under fire because OG Anunoby has a hamstring injury, and the bench is he hasn't really been going into his bench. What is your perspective on the Knicks being able to complete this series, a series win against the Pacers, considering where they are on the injury report?
Well, first, I want to say they got away with one or two.
Of course.
It's always controversial BS down the stretch. Game 1, you got away with game 1, snuck out of there. Game 2, Jalen Brunson put up 30 with missing the whole first half, basically, is kind of crazy. He's been doing some unbelievable things. I still do not like the flopping that they get away with some of it. But I do love the competitiveness. I love the way he's scoring. I love the craftiness. Him and TJ McConnell, I think he should be on the floor more. I love how they're going back and forth at it. So it's great to see, man. It's lovely to see. And he's so good. I'm happy for him. He found a home. He's very confident. Said these guys are group mature. They have a good feel for each other. They're the Villanova boys. They've been together since college. And they're clicking. Josh Hart, X factor, man. Guys hitting threes, scoring 20 a game, getting 12, 14 rebounds a game. Without him, you guys are nowhere near. So as long as you keep him healthy, I think you're good. And Hartenstein, another guy, Deuce McBride. So you have Deuce McBride, you have Precious come off the bench, you have guys like Shake Milton. There's guys you have over there, Alec Burks, that you got in trade or you could use. It just doesn't do it. So yes, do I think they can beat Indiana? Yes, they can still complete the series with the pieces you have. I do think Indiana should have won one of those games. I still think Indiana could stretch this to 6 games if 7, but I think you guys should win this series in 6, 7 games with the injuries that you have, even with OG being out. But you need him for the next series. But this series, I just don't think Indiana has enough. Tyrese Halliburton came out really aggressive. They had a really good pace. I love how they were playing because it's like this is in their favor. They keep playing. New York score 130 again. I don't know if that'll happen, especially without OG. But if Indiana keeps that pace up, that's in their favor. Tyrese Halliburton came extremely aggressive. I think 18 points in the first half. He scored like 2 in that third quarter, another till the end of the third quarter. Then he started picking it up. But that's how they came back. They won that third quarter by 18 points. Without that 18-point swing with Jalen Brunson and the rest of the company, the turnovers they had and some of the BS calls got them back in the game and got them the lead. And then from there, they just kind of never looked back. But they made plays down the stretch, free throws. Miles Turner has to be better. Indiana missed some free throws. Indiana said even with the injuries, they need Miles Turner to play a lot better. Pascal has to play 4 quarters. Tyrese Halliburton has to play 4 quarters. Can't rely on TJ McConnell and Obi Toppin to bail you guys out every win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like last series, the reason why they won most of the games, their bench came in, but those guys have to continue to play well, their bench, and then the 3 guys that I named. So, but even with those guys playing well, I think New York can do it. The Tibbs is smart. He's really good at knowing how to keep the pace. They said they have home court advantage, which we know how that garden is lit up. I don't think Indiana can handle that. So I think they get a series win still with the injuries that they have. But it's only a matter of time before those injuries and all those minutes come back to bite you and haunt you, man. Especially if not this series, definitely next series, because I had said I don't wish anything on anybody, but Josh Hart playing 4 or 5 straight games full
48
games,
minutes.
10 straight quarters of not getting subbed out. That you're playing with a lot of fire, man. And I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Jalen. I don't want to see none of these guys. And even with the suspension with Jamal, like, or the non-suspension of Jamal, like, I'd rather them give the fine, give the suspension next year. We don't want to see anybody suspended or anybody lose series because guys are suspended or hurt. Keep the guys on the floor. We want to see good playoff basketball where everybody's healthy. So I don't know if you read earlier, Pat Bev was suspended 4 games for next year.
I saw that.
So yeah, so suspensions. There's some things in other series that we saw happen, take place. Guys that kicked out, but deserve the suspension or kick out. We need to have some type of rule where it needs to be served next year. You get a fine and get served your suspension next year. So we want to see everybody healthy, and I just think that Tibbs is playing with a very fine line with the Josh Hart situation and needs to figure out how to way to at least get him 2 minutes a quarter. 2 minutes a quarter is not going to a minute a quarter. 2 minutes a quarter is not going to kill you.
Yeah, I think it might be a world where
you got Deuce McBride right there.
Yeah, I think it might be a world here, Danny, where Tibbs just takes timeouts just for breaks, not even for strategic changes, just to be like, "Yo, we're calling it smart. We're calling, yeah." You might just call 2 timeouts.
He did a smart one. They had a referee timeout, then he called timeout right after that to give them a long, expended period of timeout, which is cool, but that's still not enough, man. You got to get you guys some minutes. You got to get some minutes.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. With that being said, we're going to close the show here, Danny, and I'm going to say this now, and I said it before the series started. I thought the Minnesota Timberwolves were going to beat the Denver Nuggets. I did not think it could end up in a sweep, and I'm telling y'all right now, as long as the roster stay the way they are in terms of health, Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy by the end of June. Point blank, period. These guys have way too much defensively. They have way too much offensively. The way Anthony Edwards is shooting the ball in the second half of games. Danny, when I checked it, he was shooting over 55% from three, over 55% from the field in the second half of playoff games. I think you were curious to see what he was going to learn, how he was going to perform in this type of situation. Oh, the man is he's not looking like a superstar. He is a superstar. And
for sure.
Quiet as kept. He's looking like one. There's a world, Danny. There's a legit world that by the end of June, we are saying it's Anthony Edwards' league, and everybody else is trying to take his crown. That's how crazy this has been.
And I'm with you on that. That's not the person I'm worried about when it comes to them raising the trophy. Yes, they can. I feel like I said, we're all getting victims to the moment. First of all, let's not disrespect the Denver Nuggets. These are defending two-time NBA defending champions. They're really good. They're not getting swept, though. I don't care what the hell you're talking about. Like, people are saying swept 5 games. What is going on here? Yes, they played a really good game. You can't base that series off the 30-point. Denver played really bad. Minnesota played really well. They shot the ball well. 50%. Everybody stepped up. They're not going to do that. Cat played an unbelievable game. Not saying in foul trouble. That's the X factor. You think he's going to play like that the whole series and the whole rest of the playoffs? Nobody can sustain that. Yeah, nobody can sustain that. All of them. Even Edwards, a superstar he is, he's going to have a bad night. Denver's going to win at least a game or two. So, they might still win the series. Don't count it out that they don't come back. Like, they're still very capable of coming back and winning too. But they're going to win a game or two. And said, Cat, maturity, we don't know what's going to happen in the next series again, or in the finals against Boston, Celtics type of team. So we have no idea what that's going to look like. But once again, we're very caught up in the moment. We're a victim of the moment. And we have this one game that we're looking at and how great they play. Defensively, they looked amazing. They looked great offensively. If there's a lot of games we look at certain teams like, Miami, they could do it. Bro, they won one game. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won 2 games. Obviously, the first game is better. Look at game 1. That's the better grade of the separation. All right, it was close. Nasir Reed came off the bench and scored extremely well in the fourth quarter, where Minnesota usually is weak in the fourth quarters. We know that. So we will see how they move forward from this point, and then we'll go from there. I can't base it off one like this. They look very good. OKC looks very good. They play like that. Of course, anybody plays the way they played in that one game, they're going to beat everybody. But the hard part is not just Anthony Edwards, but the rest of them upkeeping that. So can they do it? I think there's a possibility they can do it to an extent. But even then, it's not going to be easy. But I think they could be raising the trophy if Cat plays the way he played. Now we'll see what happens with Rudy coming back. It's going to be a change of dynamic of it. But they are really made up very well. But I said I'm not going to be a victim fall victim to the moment and be like, this is the best team in the world because they had an unbelievable game against the defending champs in the playoffs. The defending champs laid an egg.
Yeah, for sure. Fake money on the line, and we'll end the show with this. I'm taking the Timberwolves. I'm 10 toes down. Timberwolves are winning the whole thing. Anthony Edwards, NBA Finals MVP. At this exact moment, Danny, who's winning the NBA Finals?
I'm gonna. If Kristaps Porzingis comes back healthy, I'm gonna have to say Boston Celtics. I'm gonna go with that.
Boston Celtics, Minnesota Timberwolves, NBA Finals should be a fun one. We don't know if we'll get it, but I think that's what happens. We'll be back with more playoff episodes of Inside the Green Room next week. Until then, y'all, peace.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.